The folks at Marvel Comics have created a brand new status quo for the X-Men.
So if you've ever wanted to read X-Men comics, now is the time. A line-wide relaunch has been unfolding from writer Jonathan Hickman. You may know his work if you've seen Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, don't know if you heard of him. He's one of the creators behind the Children of Thanos called The Black Order and The Battle of Wakanda.
Over the course of 2 comics called House of X and Powers of 10, Hickman completely changed everything we know about the X-Men. And now that the final issue is out, we have the full story that sets the X-Men on a new path unlike anything we've seen before.
So spoiler alert as we lay out everything you need to know.
So the gist of Marvel's X-Men relaunch is that Professor Xavier was given a glimpse of the horrible future that awaits mutantkind, so he got to work on making mutants as strong as can be. First order of business was uniting all mutants under one banner and creating a new country just for them called Krakoa.
That means all of Marvel's various mutant factions have merged into one, and that includes all of the villains, even Apocalypse.
And given that Omega-level mutants like Jean Grey and Magneto are essentially walking, talking weapons of mass destruction, they act as a nuclear deterrent so other countries will respect their claim as a legitimate nation.
And Xavier also offers allying countries access to special miracle cure medicines that can only be produced by Krakoa to sweeten the deal, if the threat of imminent death by Omega-level mutants isn't enough.
But to have a nation, the X-Men need more citizens. For decades, mutants have been hunted down, imprisoned, and killed. But thanks to a special group of mutants called the Five,
and Goldballs.
Yes, the Five, including Goldballs, can combine their powers to bring any dead mutant back to life.
And we see that game-changing power put to use when Cyclops leads a team on a literal suicide mission to destroy a Sentinel that's supposed to bring about the end of the X-Men in the future. But even though the X-Men died, the Five, with the help of Goldballs, they just bring them back.
This marks an incredibly profound moment for the X-Men because now the extinction era for mutantkind is over. It's a literal new age for the X-Men, and they mean to use their new position on the world stage to ensure their people never have to face being wiped out again.
So, with the X-Men now united and immortal, what could possibly stand in their way?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
It's right there in the prompter. Good thing we scripted this.
Yeah, but it is a good question.
The person who showed Xavier the future is none other than Moira MacTaggert. You may know her as a genetic researcher and longtime human ally to the X-Men, but it turns out that she's a mutant herself. She has the power of reincarnation, where she goes back and relives her entire life every time she dies, retaining all of the knowledge of her previous life. So she lived 9 lives where she saw mutants meet a grim end, and then went back and told Xavier what to do to avoid those terrible fates.
But, as we learned in the final chapter of the story, she never finds a solution. As far as she knows, the X-Men will always lose. Part of this is because humans always find a way to use technology and genetic engineering to overcome mutantkind's evolutionary advantages. But she also thinks they always lose because of Xavier's love for all humanity and his desire to peacefully coexist.
So, when Moira reincarnates for what may be the final time, she decides to break Xavier of his goodwill towards humans so he'll focus squarely on making the X-Men as good as they can be.
And it seems to work. The X-Men are set up for success like never before, but at what cost? At what cost?
Well, given Xavier is wearing that ominous new helmet and is recruiting villains to his side, it certainly seems like the price being paid is his soul. If the X-Men aren't guided by the philosophy of Xavier's benevolent dream, then what's stopping them from becoming the very type of amoral forces they used to oppose?
We will have to wait and see, because this story may be over, but it's actually the foundation Marvel has built to launch 6 new X-Men comics under the Dawn of X banner to explore how mutantkind will overcome their dark future. Those titles include X-Men New Mutants, X-Force, Marauders, Fallen Angels, and Excalibur, with more to come in Wave 2. So we all gotta read this, right?
Oh, absolutely. Hickman tells a story like no one else in comics. Super complex with big ideas, and even though he feeds you a lot of information, literally with a bunch of graphics and charts and stuff, he actually makes it incredibly captivating. This is the start of a new era for the X-Men, and it's fresh and unpredictable and just fascinating. The art, gorgeous. Now, I do wish there was a bit more character work to ground all the big ideas, like no one is saying, hey, are you sure we want to become an isolationist nation under creepy Xavier over here? But yeah, these comics are real good, and you don't need to read anything else before you pick them up.
Well, there you have it. We have plenty of explainers on House of X and Powers of 10 on IGN.com to tell you everything you need to know about Marvel's X-Men relaunch.
Or if you just want more videos explaining all of this, check out our breakdown on how Moira's mutant power works and how the Five bring mutants back to life. Spoiler, it's with gold balls.
Gold balls.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to follow and subscribe for more from IGN Now.
Gold balls.